Jacob had a dream. And a ladder was there standing on the ground with its tops reaching to heaven, and there were angels of God going up and coming down it. A ladder leading us to heaven. This is one of the imageries of the Old Testament. And often it's used as an imagery of prayer. That our prayer life is meant to be a little bit like a ladder. We're meant to be climbing a little bit. We're constantly developing and hopefully getting closer to the life of God, the longer that we live our lives. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult, it's a little bit scary, a little bit like climbing a ladder for the first time. When you suddenly get up quite high, you realize you're very high. And some people then become afraid. And this can happen in the spiritual life as well. The saint we celebrate today, St. Anthony Zaccaria, was only quite young when he died. He came from a very noble family in Italy. And in his 20s, he studied medicine, he studied other knowledge, philosophy as well, and then went on to become a priest. He spent about 10 years as a priest and then died during he caught a tragic cold, and that led to a flu, and then he died. But during his life as a priest, he really encouraged people to climb this ladder, to climb the ladder of spirituality towards heaven. And there's a couple of things that he put in place that are really important, and I think really ring true from his life even to this time today. One thing he talked about was the importance of silence. All of us to be able to engage with, as we heard in this first reading, the awe-inspiring presence of God. He said you need silence. And sometimes we need to just come and sit in silence in the presence of God. To not use words, to not have all of the drama or the production that sometimes happens with our big liturgical celebrations, but just to come into the church and to be in silence with our God. Maybe to read the scriptures, maybe just to spend some moments praying in the presence of the Blessed Sacrament. And he said, in these moments of silence, we can start to hear the voice of God. And we can start to become closer to God, closer to heaven. He talked about perhaps climbing this ladder as well, getting closer towards heaven. And that happens through silence. A devotion that he encouraged widely during his life and became quite popular from his life and even up into more recent times was devotions of the 40 hours of adoration, where a church would be open for 40 hours and parishioners would come right during the day and during the night to just come and spend time in silence with Jesus in the Eucharist. This was started by St. Anthony Zaccaria, whose feast we celebrate today. To just come and spend time in silence. At the moment, most of us can't get out of our homes except for a couple of essential reasons. But when we're at home, let's not fill it with noise all the time. Let's not fill it with TV shows or Netflix shows or whatever all the time. Spend some moment in silence, just asking God to help you experience this awe-inspiring presence that Isaac talked about in this first reading. Let's have this yearning for heaven, that we can be drawn closer and closer towards this heaven, to climb the ladder towards eternal life, where we have the support of the angels on the ladder as we come closer and closer to our God, who loves us deeply and wants the very best for us. Let us today pray for St. Anthony Zaccaria's intercession for all people, that we will not be afraid of silence, but that we will cherish silence and welcome the presence of God into our daily activities. St. Anthony Zaccaria,